It feels like Hong Kong maybe could be reaching a COVID tipping point here.
Yeah, it seems like that, Heidi. And as you heard from Douglas Flint, he still thinks that Hong Kong can maintain that international hub status, but they definitely have sacrificed that status for COVID zero. And you're starting to see that breaking point when it comes to the health system. Penny's Bay, the government quarantine facility, is nearly full. We heard from health officials yesterday saying with every 900 available rooms, they're now being assigned to about 800 people. So that just goes to show the strain that they're having on these facilities, and it forced them ultimately to adjust, at least when it comes to people that were close contacts to people that were COVID positive. So at least now we're hearing 14 days now quarantine, 7 days of self-monitoring at home for people of close contacts. Keep in mind, though, when it comes to arrivals, people flying into Hong Kong, the rules still apply. There is still that 21-day quarantine. But no, the fact that these COVID zero policies are here to stay, it's just another reason for many expats and locals here to ponder whether they need to stay here or whether they should continue to stay in Hong Kong. This mass exodus that we've seen of people, this brain drain, looks set to intensify in 2022. And take a look at the population. It declined 1.2% in the past 12 months ending in June. That's an outflow of about 89,000 people of a population of 7.4 million. And that was a record decline that we've seen. And some were saying, when it comes to foreign companies, it's tolerable that they had this kind of national security law implementation and because it brought an end to the violence and disruptive protests that triggered this mass exodus in the first place. But the virus strategy, that could be a swing factor.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to imagine for people like us here in the U.S. that you actually have to stay away from all people in quarantine for 3 weeks. But it's not just Hong Kong that's experiencing this flare-up, right? We're talking about Shenzhen, your neighbor as well. And how's that impacting, say, those big container ports? Because, of course, it's a key trading hub, right?
Yeah, Yantian, one of the biggest regional hubs here in Asia. So what we're hearing in Shenzhen, there is a flare-up, only 4 cases so far, but they're doing some testing when it comes to residents there as well as truckers. So there is a concern now that the fact that they're testing truckers and people that work in these ports, that this could add to the supply chain delays right now. This is one of the busiest ports that serves factories that manufacture everything from electronics to plastic toys. When they did have to shut this port back in May, we did see some delays there. And when China was checking when it comes to food delivery shipments, for example, we saw delays when it comes to deliveries for weeks. So that is the concern now over in Tianjin. This is where the city that they detected the first Omicron cases. That is closely on watch. We saw another 21 cases yesterday, but this is just a half-hour train ride to Beijing. It's also very close to Hebei province, which is where they're going to be hosting some of these snow sports for the Winter Olympics just a month away. So a lot at stake. Another test for their COVID zero strategy there. We've seen that schools have been canceled. There's been train tickets have been halted to Beijing. And once again, mass testing there in Tianjin as well.